This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Machine operator killed in Westmoreland crash. A machine operator is now dead following his involvement in a motorcycle crash along the Kettle Main Road in Westmoreland on Thursday afternoon. He has been identified as 56-year-old Winston Black of Springfield District, also in Westmoreland. The Grange Hill police say about 1:30 p.m., Black was riding his motorcycle from the direction of Spring Gardens towards the Springfield community when he failed to keep to the left. He lost control of the motorcycle and was thrown from the bike onto the roadway, sustaining head and body injuries. He was transported to the Savannah Lamar Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Shopkeeper fatally shot at Westmoreland candlelight vigil. The Savannah Lamar police have commenced a probe into Thursday night's shooting death of a female shopkeeper at a candlelight vigil along Darling Street in Westmoreland. The deceased has been identified as 28-year-old Chantal Hunter of Darling Street. About 9:45 p.m., Hunter was reportedly among patrons at the vigil when they were ambushed by men armed with guns. The gunmen opened fire, hitting Hunter in the face before escaping on foot. The police were called, and upon their arrival, Hunter was rushed to the Savannah Lamar Hospital, where she was pronounced dead. Manchester farmer gets life for murder of teen son and 2 others. A Manchester farmer who brutally murdered a mother and her 2 sons, including his own child, was today sentenced to 3 life sentences in the Home Circuit Court. Mark Henry, 56, was ordered to serve 49 years and 6 months in prison before being eligible for parole. The victims, Nadine Carradine, her 11-year-old son Rasheen Ellis, and the 16-year-old Jovan Thomas, were found with knife wounds to their necks. Carradine and Thomas also had multiple injuries to their bodies. The court was told that Thomas is a child of Carradine and Henry, who was married. The bodies of the deceased were found outside their home in Ramble, Manchester, on April 29, 2014. Henry was last month convicted of 3 counts of murder following a trial in the Manchester Circuit Court. However, he was sentenced today in the Home Circuit Court by Justice Lorna Shelley Williams. The judge sentenced Henry to 3 life sentences for each count of murder. He was also ordered to serve 49 years and 6 months in prison on each count, with the sentences running concurrently. Henry has maintained his innocence despite his conviction, and the court was further told by a probation officer that he had no remorse. However, the father of 8 who lost his wife and son while in custody appeared sad during the sentencing hearing. Attorney at law Donald Gittins represented Henry. Residents facing eviction from Bob Marley Beach in St. Thomas. Fisherfolk and the prominent Rastafari family members who have lived at Bob Marley Beach in Bull Bay, St. Thomas for more than 50 years are reportedly being evicted today. Advocacy group Jamaica Beach Birthright Environmental Movement is trying to garner public support to prevent the eviction. The group says that there are plans to build a hotel on the lands, which it claims will result in the loss of access to Bob Marley Beach. Attorney Dr. Marcus Goff is representing Jabem and says he has filed an application in court to stop the eviction. Dr. Goff said he was at the beach, but he did not see any sort of action yet to remove anyone from the beach. So we're still here on the beach watching and waiting to see what, if anything, anyone tries, and we are pursuing all other legal means to prevent this from happening, he said. The attorney insisted residents of the beach have long-standing rights to the property, even though they do not have titles. Jabem also wants the government to repeal and replace the Beach Control Act of 1956 with what they term a post-colonial progressive and just law. Schools turning into battlefields, says JTA president. The Jamaica Teachers Association says some public schools have become battlefields as educators face increasing violence among students. JTA President Lasandra Harrison is appealing for intervention from the church in addition to greater support from the Ministry of Education to address the triggers of conflict among students. Ms. Harrison said the factors behind the violent outbursts from students are varied but usually stem from problems in the home. She suggested that many students come to school already frustrated by situations within their household. Then when they arrive, they are put in overcrowded classes and have no space to themselves. So as soon as somebody say a wrong thing or gets on your nerves or even step on your toe, you drop your bag, that kind of thing. So we find that there is much anger and some frustration on the part of our children, and it is all stemming from their home situations most times, and so we really need to pray in addition to the strategies that we're going to be employing, she asserted. The JTA president said educators are intimidated by students, some of whom are said to be part of gangs. Educators have also been intervening in fights at their own risk, but Ms. Harrison disclosed that there is no insurance coverage for teachers injured on the job. While she noted that the teachers are expected to act if students are fighting, she urged them to protect their own lives, especially if the students have weapons. The JTA president has also chastised the government for the inadequate number of guidance counselors assigned to schools. Ms. Harrison supports the call from the National Association of Deans of Discipline for timeout facilities to be set up for delinquent students. We're not asking for the children to go to prison or juvenile centers. We need facilities that are so properly resourced with social workers, psychologists, psychiatrists, and persons who will treat with their spiritual welfare as well to support the children in those settings and then reintegrate them into the regular school setting, she appealed. Man stabbed to death allegedly over $400. A suspect has been taken into police custody after a man was stabbed to death during a dispute in the community of Three Chains on the outskirts of Mandeville on Thursday night. A reliable police source told the news that the dispute was over $400 owed by the victim. The deceased has been identified as 39-year-old Kevin Neal, otherwise called the Catfish, a resident and a landscaper of Three Chains. Police report that about 8:30 p.m., Neal was at a shop in Three Chains when a man confronted him. An argument developed between the men, allegedly over the money owed. Police said the aggressor used a ratchet knife to stab Neal, who was pronounced dead at hospital. The suspect was arrested following the incident. Statistics from the Manchester police show that up to October 8, the South Central Parish recorded 46 murders since the start of the year, when compared to 21 for the corresponding period last year. Oberlin High student suspended for slap captured on video. A student at Oberlin High School in Lawrence Tavern, St. Andrew, has been suspended and sent to counseling for slapping another student at the school last week, Tuesday, the Ministry of Education has revealed. The incident was captured on video, which has been circulating on social media. The minister said in a media release on Friday that the dispute reportedly started when the students were playing a game using rubber bands and balls made of crumbled paper. It's understood that one student slapped another in the face for tearing a page from his book without permission. The minister said one student identified as the aggressor has been suspended for 7 days and referred for counseling, which will continue upon return to school. He will also be placed on a stricter conduct management program and will be monitored by a senior teacher throughout the school day for 3 weeks. He is also required to issue a written public apology to the student who was slapped and to the school population, the ministry added. The child who was slapped will also enter a counseling program to deal with the trauma from the situation. Efforts will be made to provide counseling to the parents who are understandably angry about the situation. The matter was discussed with the parents on October 5, and the steps outlined as to how the school would manage the aftermath of the situation, the Education Ministry continued. Minister of Education Favor Williams is reiterating that students and the parents should use the reporting channels to advise of acts of indiscipline or aggression so that the established disciplinary framework can be activated to address disputes. 12-year-old girl gone missing after leaving home in St. Andrew for school. A high alert has been activated for 12-year-old Carissa Woodhouse of Seaview Garden, St. Andrew, who has been missing since Wednesday, October 12. She is of brown complexion, medium build, and is about 167 centimeters or 5 feet 6 inches tall. Reports from the Seaview Garden Police are that about 10:30 a.m., Woodhouse was last seen leaving home for school, wearing her school uniform, a green tunic and a white blouse, and a black Air Force sneakers. Efforts made to contact her since then have all been unsuccessful. Anyone knowing the whereabouts of Carissa Woodhouse is being asked to contact the Seaview Garden Police at 876-997-9372, the Police 119 emergency number, or the nearest police station. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.